Hello, Jarek here. When people talk about the Red Faction franchise, their favorites are usually one of two. Either the first Red Faction, a linear first-person shooter in the vein of Half-Life, or Red Faction Guerilla, an open-world third-person shooter. These two games couldn't be any different, but after playing Guerilla for the first time, I finally understand the praise. Red Faction lives up to the promise of a fully destructible world, and Guerilla understands what makes a game fun above all else. I mean, hell, the first thing the game did was give me a hammer and have me destroy a wall, which promptly dropped debris on my head, making me fall over.
Oh! Alright, we're starting off good already.
And if destruction is something that you enjoy, then you may appreciate today's sponsor, War Thunder. War Thunder is arguably the most comprehensive vehicle combat game made. It has more than 2,000 tanks, planes, helicopters, ships, taking place in combined arms PvP battles. The devs seem to enjoy nerding out with every single detail modeled down to individual components. You can play it on PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PlayStation 5, or the previous generation consoles. And it's not just new vehicles either, they span over the last 100 years of development, all the way back to the 1920s and up to the present day. And if you're like me, you don't really care much for simulation style games, I generally want to get right to the point. Well, good news is they have immersion levels for all play styles, so if you like that simulation stuff, you can get that. If you just want to shoot other tanks, I guess, you can also do that. Something I appreciate about this game is the level of destruction. Everything can be broken apart, and there's even slow-mo X-ray shots. And these battles happen on land, air, sea, desert, grass, snow. It's actually kind of neat seeing the snow getting pushed away by the treads of the tank, kind of a game physics-y kind of way. If you want to play War Thunder, then go try it out. Link down below in the video information or in my pinned comment. You can play it on PC, Xbox, or PlayStation. There's also a large free bonus pack if you use that link. It includes multiple premium vehicles, a premium account, boosters, and much more. So huge thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. And now let's go back to our scheduled destruction. I am technically playing the remastering of Red Faction Guerilla, which is called Red Faction Guerilla ReMARStered. Yep, that's the actual name of this. I'm not even mad, that fits the goofy gameplay loop this game has going for it. Surprisingly, it's a pretty solid PC port. My first impression was this really slick looking menu. I mean, there's no need to slam the hammer down while I'm navigating through the menus, but I'm down with it. And more important news, every option I expect to have is here, yes, including an FOV slider. And once in game, mouse aim and movement feels very smooth. As for the actual graphics, they're okay. This game released in 2009, and, well, we had games that looked better before 2009. Hell, we had better looking open world games that released before 2009. Far Cry 2 came out the year before, and Crysis, while not being entirely open world, is open world enough to mention. Boy, did I probably just spark a huge argument in the comments about whether or not Crysis 1 is open world or not. You know what I mean? It was a good looking game, it was fun, I don't care about that conversation. Anyway, yeah, the graphics aren't necessarily dated, but I do think they suffer from the art direction. You know, because you're on Mars, so the only colors you're going to see are red, brown, and rust red brown. That said, we had other games on Mars that didn't suffer this problem. Doom 3 is on Mars, and it's not just red and brown. Instead, it's just black. The story did impress me, though, mainly because the story in Red Faction 1 and 2 were really hard to take seriously. I could at least follow the story in Red Faction 1, but I couldn't tell if I was supposed to take it seriously or not. It definitely felt very campy, and Red Faction 2 was, well...
Way to go, hero.
Red Faction 2. Meanwhile, in Guerilla, it starts off with solid cutscenes and good voice acting. These people seem like regular people to me. You play as Alec Mason, meeting up with your brother on Mars. The EDF, standing for Earth Defense Force, who were your allies and liberators at the end of the first Red Faction, are now the oppressors, right at the beginning of the game. Red Faction Guerilla does what Homefront attempted to do, but doesn't feel anywhere near as ham-fisted. You were shown point blank that the EDF is just gunning people down. Meanwhile, Dan immediately tries to recruit you into the Red Faction. Alec wants nothing to do with it. But before things could get much farther, Dan gets shot up by the EDF. And I don't know if this is just me, but there needs to be some blood in these cutscenes. Like, that's immersion breaking to me. That's a pretty big gun. And he's fine. You know, aside from the whole being dead part. I don't think things need to be gory for the sake of being gory, but when you're making a game with mature tones and someone is dying in this way, Like, come on, you need to have some blood. Anyway, Alec tries to go home and is immediately confronted by the EDF, who try to arrest you and then promptly try to shoot you instead. You are rescued by the Red Faction, and now you have absolutely no choice. You are just part of the Red Faction. Gameplay-wise, I actually don't have a whole lot to say about this game, despite the gameplay being the star of the show. It's pretty simple, and to be honest, the whole game is fairly mediocre as an open-world game, but this is the one time that's a good thing. This game is really addictive. The goal is to liberate different territories from the EDF. Once you liberate this first territory and clear the game of these really annoying tutorial pop-ups, seriously, the game is not that deep, I don't need these, I'll figure it out, then you're allowed to do whatever you want. To liberate a territory, you need to do a bunch of objectives till that bar goes down, and then you've liberated the territory. Eventually, you'll wander over to another story section that will continue the story and rinse and repeat. These objectives aren't too varied, they usually just have you going somewhere to destroy stuff, rescuing hostages, or destroying more stuff.
Oh, did that kill me? That killed me. Shit. Where did that come from?
This game understands what it's doing right. Destruction. Arguably, this is the best destruction in any game, ever. Still. Bad Company 1 and 2 had some good destruction, but it was still pretty scripted where walls would break and whatnot. In this game, it's just wherever you hit that wall, wherever you drive a car through it, wherever you throw an explosion, that thing is going to break apart, that building is going to fall down. I really do mean everything is destructible in this game. And also, the ragdoll is great. Bodies will go flying. I love it. It's so stupid, it's just silly fun. The first two weapons you get show this off well. You get a ridiculously strong hammer that can tear down walls, and the first person I tried to kill did this.
Oh my god. I think this is an accurate representation of this whole game.
And you also get some explosive mining charges, which can level any building. Once you destroy this building, you can pick up scraps. Scraps can be spent at safe houses. This is a very simplistic shop and is effectively the only upgrades in the game, but it does do a good job drip feeding you content that constantly changes the game through new toys. Sometimes less is more. Simplistic doesn't mean it's going to be bad. For example, the first thing I bought was a concussion device that launches enemies in every direction around me. Yeah, you just get a ton of stupid, silly, fun stuff like this. That said, this is not a perfect game. I do have complaints. The first one is that it is very repetitive. What you do within the first 30 minutes to an hour is what you will be doing for the entire game, and this game is not short. It's roughly 10 hours long, give or take a couple of hours. Depending on who you are, this may get very boring, or it may not matter that much. For example, they were constantly giving me new toys to cause chaos, and I still found it fun all the way through. Hell, even the hammer stayed fun. I mean, it's a hammer that launches people. How is this not fun? One real complaint I have, though, is that the enemies are very dumb. They're dumb in the same way that, say, cops are dumb in GTA 4. Even the ladder trick still works. At least until your hammer breaks the ladder. And this game does have a sort of GTA wanted level mechanic, so you're gonna start getting overwhelmed with enemies until that goes down. This can be rather annoying if I'm to be honest. Really, these enemies just kind of get in the way from the fun you're wanting to do. For example, driving vehicles through buildings, like these windmills that I needed to destroy, is absurdly fun and dumb. This never got old no matter how much I played the game. But damn it, there's so many EDF enemies. This can be a good or a bad thing depending on the situation. I just found it more annoying usually. So, in conclusion, what is the best Red Faction game? Well, in my opinion, it's Red Faction Guerilla by far. The first game wasn't bad, but I find a lot more fun in the open world chaos that Guerilla gives me. The first one kind of felt like it was trying to copy Half-Life and was fine, but not great. Guerilla is just dumb campy fun, and I would highly advise you to buy it and play it if you have not bought it before. At least that's my opinion. Your opinion may vary, and that's okay. Huge thanks goes to War Thunder for sponsoring this video. Check that link down below in the video information to play the game yourself. Again, it's on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. And a huge thanks to all of you that joined me over on Twitch while I streamed this game. You can click on the link at the bottom right over there to go to my Twitch and follow if you want to. My Twitter handle is down there in the bottom left if you want to check that out. Thank all of you for following, and I'll see you next time.